Hey, welcome back to another video. We are reading Numbers 14, 15, and 16. Let's go ahead and get started. Turn off this air. Alright. The people complained again. That night, all the people in the camp began shouting loudly. The Israelites complained against Moses and Aaron. All the people came together and said to Moses and Aaron, "We should have died in Egypt or in the desert. Did the Lord bring us to this new land to be killed in war? The enemy will kill us and take our wives and children. It would be better for us to go back to Egypt." Then the people said to each other, "Let's choose another leader and go back to Egypt." Moses and Aaron bowed down to the ground in front of all the people that gathered there. Joshua and Caleb became very upset. Joshua, son of Nun, and Caleb, son of Jephunneh, were two of the men who explored the land. These two men said to all the Israelites gathered there, "The land that we saw is very good. It is a land filled with many good things. If the Lord is pleased with us, he will lead us into that land, and he will give that land to us. So don't turn against the Lord. Don't be afraid of the people in that land. We can defeat them. They have no protection, nothing to keep them safe. But we have the Lord with us, so don't be afraid." All the people began talking about killing Joshua and Caleb with stones, but the glory of the Lord appeared over the meeting tent where all the people could see it. The Lord spoke to Moses and said, "How long will the people continue to turn against me? They show that they don't trust me or believe in my power. In spite of the many miracles I have done among them, I will kill them all with a terrible sickness. I will destroy them, and I will use you to make another nation. Your nation will be greater and stronger than these people." Then Moses said to the Lord, "If you do that, the Egyptians will hear about it. They will know that you used your great power to bring your people out of Egypt. The Egyptians have already told the people in Canaan about it. They already know you are the Lord. They know that you are with your people. They know that the people saw you, those people who know about the special cloud. They know you use the cloud to lead your people during the day, and they know the cloud becomes a fire to lead your people at night. So you must not kill these people now. If you kill them, all the nations who have heard about your power will say, 'The Lord was not able to bring them out into the land he promised them, so he killed them in the desert.' So now, Lord, show your strength. Show the way you said you would. You said, 'The Lord is slow to become angry. He is full of great love. He forgives those who are guilty and break the law. But he also punishes those who are guilty. He punishes them, and he also punishes their children and their grandchildren and even their great-grandchildren for those bad things. Now, show your great love to these people. Forgive their sin. Forgive them the same way you have been forgiving them since the time they left Egypt until now." The Lord answered, "Yes, I will forgive the people as you asked. But I'll tell you the truth. As surely as I live, and as surely as the glory of the Lord fills the whole earth, I will make you this promise. None of the people I led out of Egypt will ever see the land of Canaan. They saw my glory and the great signs that I did in Egypt and in the desert. But they disobeyed me and tested me 10 times. I promised their ancestors that I would give them their land. But none of those people who will turn against me will ever enter that land. But my servant Caleb was different. He follows me completely. So I will bring him into the land that he has already seen, and his people will get that land. The Amalekites and the Canaanites are living in that valley. So tomorrow you must leave this place. Go back to the desert on the road to the Red Sea." The Lord punishes the people. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, "How long will these evil people continue to complain against me? I have heard their complaints and their griping. So tell them, the Lord says that he will surely do all those things to you that you complained about. This is what will happen to you. You will die in the desert. Every person who is 20 years old or older was counted as one of the people who will die. You complained against me, so none of you will ever enter the land that I promised to give you. Only Caleb, son of Jephunneh, and Joshua, son of Nun, will enter that land. You were afraid and complained that your enemies in the new land would take your children away from you. But I tell you that I will bring them into the land. They will enjoy what you refuse to accept. As for you people, you will die in this desert. Your children will wander around like shepherds here in the desert for 40 years. They will suffer because you were not faithful to me. They must suffer until all of you lie dead in the desert. For 40 years you will suffer for your sins. That is 1 year for each of the 40 days that the men explored the land. You will know that this is a terrible thing for me to be against you. I am the Lord, and I have spoken. And I promise that I will do these things to all these evil people. They have come together against me, so they will all die here in this desert. The men Moses sent to explore the new land were the ones who came back complaining about him to all the Israelites. They said that the people were not strong enough to enter that land. The men were responsible for spreading the trouble among the Israelites. So the Lord caused a sickness to kill all those men. But Joshua and Caleb were among the men who were sent out to explore the land. They are the only ones who did not get the sickness that caused the others to die. The people tried to go into Canaan. When Moses told the Israelites this, they were very sad. Early the next morning, the people started to go up the high hill country. They said, "We have sinned. We are sorry that we did not trust the Lord. We will go to the place that the Lord promised." But Moses said, "Why are you not obeying the Lord's command? You will not be successful. Don't go into the land. The Lord is not with you, so your enemies will easily defeat you. The Amalekites and Canaanites will fight against you there. You have turned away from the Lord, so he will not be with you when you fight them, and you will be killed in battle." But the people did not believe Moses. They went toward the high hill country. But Moses and the box of the Lord's agreement did not go with the people. The Amalekites and the Canaanites living in the hill country came down and attacked the Israelites and easily defeated them and chased them all the way to Hormah. Numbers 15. Rules about sacrifices. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites and say to them, I am giving you a land to be your home. When you enter that land, you must give special gifts to the Lord. Their smell will please the Lord. You will use your cattle, sheep, and goats for offerings, sacrifices, promises, special gifts, fellowship offerings, or at your special festivals." At the time someone brings their offering, they must also give a grain offering to the Lord. The grain offering will be 8 cups of fine flour mixed with 1 quart of olive oil. Each time you offer a lamb as a burnt offering or a sacrifice, you must also prepare a quart of wine as a drink offering. If you are given a ram, you must also prepare a grain offering. This grain offering should be 16 cups of fine flour mixed with 1 1/4 quarts of olive oil, and you must prepare the 1/4 quarts of wine as a drink offering. Its smell will please the Lord. You might prepare a young bull as a burnt offering, a sacrifice, or a fellowship offering, or to keep a special promise to the Lord. At that time, you must also bring a grain offering with the bull. That grain offering should be 24 cups of fine flour mixed with 2 quarts of olive oil. Also bring 2 quarts of wine as a drink offering, as a sweet smelling gift to the Lord. Each bull or ram or lamb or young goat that you give must be prepared in this way. Do this for every one of those animals that you give. This is the way every citizen of Israel must give gifts to please the Lord. Foreigners will live among you. If they give gifts to please the Lord, they must offer them the same way you do. The same rules will be for everyone, the Israelites and the foreigners living among you. This law will continue forever. You and the people living among you will be the same before the Lord. This means that you must follow the same laws and the same rules. These laws and rules are for you Israelites and for the other people who are living among you. The Lord said to Moses, "Tell the Israelites this, I'm taking you to another land. When you eat the food that grows in that land, you must give part of the food as an offering to the Lord. You will gather grain and grind it into flour to make dough for bread. You must give the first bread from the flour as a gift to the Lord. It will be like the grain offering that comes from the threshing floor. You and all your descendants must give part of the first dough you make from that flour as a gift to the Lord. As you try to obey all the commands that the Lord gave Moses, you might fail and make a mistake. The Lord gave you those commands through Moses, and they have been in effect from the day they were given throughout the generations until today. If you make this mistake where everyone could see it, the whole community must offer a young bull as a burnt offering, as a sweet-smelling gift to the Lord. You must also offer the grain offering and the drink offering with the bull, and you must also give a male goat as a sin offering. So the priest will make the whole community of Israel pure, and they will be forgiven for the mistake they made. Since they made the mistake, they must bring a gift and a sin offering to the Lord. Then the whole community of Israel and any foreigners among them will be forgiven for the mistake. But if any person makes a mistake and sins, that person must bring a female goat that is 1 year old. That goat will be the sin offering. The priest will make purification before the Lord for the one who sinned, and that person will be forgiven. This law is for everyone who makes a mistake and sins. The same law is for the people born in the family of Israel and for the foreigners living among you. If someone sins and knows they are doing wrong, they are rebelling against the Lord, they must be separated from their people. The same law applies to citizens of Israel and to foreigners living among you. They thought the Lord's word was not important, so they broke his commands. That is why they must be separated from their people. They must bear the responsibility for their guilt. A man works on the day of rest. While the Israelites were in the desert, some of them saw a man gathering firewood on the Sabbath day. The people who saw him gathering the wood brought him to Moses and Aaron and the whole community of Israel. They guarded the man carefully because they did not know how they should punish him. Then the Lord said to Moses, "The man must die. All the people must throw stones at him outside the camp." So the people took him outside the camp and killed him with stones. They did this just as the Lord commanded Moses. A way to remember God's commands. The Lord said to Moses, "Speak to the Israelites, tell them this. Tie several pieces of thread together and tie them in the corner of your clothes. Put a piece of blue thread in each one of these tassels. You must wear these things now and forever. You will be able to look at these tassels and remember all the commands that the Lord has given you. Then you will obey the commands. You will not do wrong by forgetting about the commands and doing things that your own bodies and eyes want. You will remember to obey all the commands. You will be God's special people. I am the Lord your God. I am the one who brought you out of Egypt. I did this to be your God. I am the Lord your God." Number 16. Some leaders turn against Moses. Korah, Dathan, Abiram, and On turned against Moses. Korah was the son of Izhar. Izhar was the son of Kohath, and Kohath was the son of Levi. Dathan and Abiram were brothers, the sons of Eliab, and On was the son of Peleth. Dathan, Abiram, and On were descendants of Reuben. These 4 men gathered 250 other men from Israel together and came against Moses. They were leaders who had been chosen by the people. All the people knew them. They came as a group to speak against Moses and Aaron and said, "You have gone too far. You are wrong. All the Israelites are holy. The Lord still lives among them. You are making yourselves more important than the rest of the Lord's people." When Moses heard this, he bowed his face to the ground to show he was not being proud. Then Moses said to Korah and his followers, "Tomorrow morning the Lord will show you who belongs to him. He will show who is holy, and he will bring that man near to him. He will choose him and bring that man near to him." So Korah, you and all your followers should do this. Tomorrow put fire and incense in some special pans. Then bring those pans before the Lord. He will choose the man who is holy. You Levites have gone too far. You are wrong. Moses also said to Korah, "You Levites, listen to me. You should be happy that the God of Israel chose you to be different from the rest of the Israelites. He lets you come near to him to do the special work in the Lord's holy tent to help the Israelites worship him. Isn't that enough? He brought you Levites near to him to help the priests, but now you are trying to become priests also? You and your followers have joined together and turned against the Lord. Did Aaron do anything wrong? No. So why are you complaining against Aaron? Then Moses called Dathan and Abiram, the sons of Eliab. But the two men said, we will not come. You have brought us out of a land filled with many good things. You brought us into the desert to kill us, and now you want to show that you have even more power over us. Why should we follow you? You did not bring us into the new land filled with many good things. You did not give us the land God promised. You did not give us the fields or the vineyards. Will you make these men your slaves? No, we will not come. So Moses became very angry. He said to the Lord, I never did anything wrong to these people. I never took anything from them, not even a donkey. Don't accept their gifts. Then Moses said to Korah, you and all your followers will stand before the Lord tomorrow. Aaron will also be there with you and your followers. Each of you must bring a pan, put incense in it, and present it to the Lord. There will be 250 pans for the leaders, and one pan for you and one pan for Aaron. So each man got a pan and put burning incense in it. They then stood at the entrance of the meeting tent. Moses and Aaron also stood there. Korah also gathered all the people together at the entrance of the meeting tent. Then the glory of the Lord appeared to everyone there. The Lord said to Moses and Aaron, move away from these men. I want to destroy them now. But Moses and Aaron bowed to the ground and cried out, God, you know what people are thinking. Please don't be angry with all these people. Only one man really sinned. Then the Lord said to Moses, tell the people to move away from the tents of Korah, Dathan, and Abiram. Moses stood and went to Dathan and Abiram. All the elders of Israel followed him. Moses warned the people, move away from the tents of these evil men. Don't touch anything that belongs to them. If you do, you will be destroyed because of their sins. So the men moved away from the tents of Korah. Dathan and Abiram went to their tents. They stood outside their tents with their wives, children, and little babies. Then Moses said, I will show you proof that the Lord sent me to do all the things I told you. I will show you that all these things were not my own idea. These men will die. But if they die in a normal way, the way that people always die, then that will show that the Lord did not really send me. But if the Lord causes them to die in a different way, then you will know that these men have sinned against the Lord. This is proof. The earth will open and swallow them. They will go down into their graves still alive, and everyone that belongs to these men will go down with them. When Moses finished saying these things, the ground under the men opened. It was as if the earth opened in its mouth and swallowed them. All of Korah's men, their families, and everything they owned went down into the earth. They went down into their grave alive. Everything they owned went with them. Then the earth closed over them. They were finished, gone from the camp. The Israelites heard the cries of the men being destroyed. So they all ran in different directions and said, the earth will swallow us too. Then a fire came from the Lord and destroyed the 250 men who were offering the incense. The Lord said to Moses, tell Eleazar, son of Aaron, the priest, to get all the incense pans from the fire. Tell him to scatter the coals and ashes. These men sinned against me, and their sin cost them their lives. But the incense pans were still holy. The pans became holy when people gave them to the Lord. Hammer the pans into flat sheets. Use the metal sheets to cover the altar. This will be a warning for all the Israelites. So Eleazar the priest gathered together all the bronze pans that the men had brought. These men were all burned up, but the pans were still there. Then Eleazar told the men to hammer the pans into flat metal. Then he put the metal sheets on the altar. He did this the way the Lord commanded him through Moses. This was a sign to help the Israelites remember that only someone from the family of Aaron should burn the incense before the Lord. Any other person who burned incense before the Lord will die like Korah and his followers. Aaron saves the people. The next day, all the Israelites complained against Moses and Aaron. They said, you killed the Lord's people. Moses and Aaron were standing at the entrance of the meeting tent. The people gathered together at that place to complain against Moses and Aaron. But when they looked toward the meeting tent, the cloud covered it, and the glory of the Lord appeared there. Then Moses and Aaron went to the front of the meeting tent. The Lord said to Moses, move away from these people so that I can destroy them now. So Moses and Aaron bowed with their faces to the ground. Then Moses said to Aaron, "Get your bronze pan and some fire from the altar. Then put incense in it. Hurry to the people and do the things that will make them pure. The Lord is angry with them. The trouble has already started." So Aaron got the incense and the fire, and he ran to the middle of the people. But the sickness had already started among them. So Aaron stood between the dead and those who were still alive. He did what Moses said to remove their sin. And the sickness stopped there. But 14,700 people died from that sickness. And that is not counting the people who died because of Korah. So the terrible sickness was stopped. And Aaron went back to Moses at the entrance of the meeting tent. All right, and that is Numbers 14, 15, and 16. So one of the things that I want to talk about is, man, these folks keep on complaining. They keep on talking about how bad things are and how they want to go back to Egypt, and it's just wild. But another thing, ain't it interesting how one man's wrong can take out a whole group of people or a whole generation of folks just by one man not being in alignment. When I say one man, I mean like the representative, and then or the leader of the family, and how his decisions and how his bad decisions can just take a whole group of people out. Like, it's like you can just drag people down, and as you going down, they coming down too. It sucks. It sucks for like families that kind of didn't have to say so, like the kids or the wives. It was more so they had to stand by their partner in wrong, and the earth just swallowed them up. Like, that is crazy to think about. But we continue to see people turn away from Moses, and then God showed them that, nah, Moses is my servant. Like God continues to back Moses up. And these are stories that you don't really hear about. Like, I don't remember reading this story where the earth just swallowed a group of people alive and they went to their grave still alive. Like, that's interesting. But yeah, that's all for today. I hope y'all have a beautiful and great day today, and be blessed. Peace.